OMG. Do you ever get like the feels when you just like these like jittery feelings after you watch something you've just created? Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna ask to unmute you real quick.
I'm unmuted. I was talking the whole time. Yeah, I was just beaming watching you
Oh
after
my
all
goodness.
that work we've done and come to this place. And it was just so exciting to see you do your thing. You did a great job, lady. You did an
Thank
absolute.
you. It was thanks to you.
I got to move over because I got that backdrop back
Okay, I'm
here.
making sure that we're catching some of the folks over there. I'm just giving them the link one last time. See y'all there. Here's the link. Oh, technology. All right. Okay. All right. What's up, guys? Thank you so much for watching the video. That was every word you say. I see Lydia. Hi, Lydia. Hi, Austin. You know, in the past, I've done these things where I do the premiere and then it goes nowhere after that. And it always feels so anticlimactic. So I was very determined to avoid that feeling this time around.
Are we good?
I think we are good. Let me just see if there's anyone else. Oh no, we are good. Okay. Oh my gosh. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I am hanging out here with the very lovely, the very talented Frankie Ann. And I want to tell you how I know Frankie. She and I met ages ago. I think it was 2012. I must have been brand new to LA. Didn't know too many people. And one of our mutual friends, Paul Condon, was like, you absolutely have to meet her because she's just so talented. And I think he saw a lot of like similarities in our personalities, you know, like very determined women. And he was like, you need to meet her. So Frankie actually taught me voice for many years. But it was a lot more than voice, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Like, I think
performance coaching
it
actually.
was performance. You were like teaching me how to be on stage, you know, when I'd never had that kind of training before. So that was really amazing. And so fast forward to this song, I just, you know, I love this song, first of all. And I see Carl, shout out to Carl because he actually tracked the song. And so much of the programming and the drums that you hear, that was all Carl Thompson, who's in the chat. What's up, Carl? So I love this song so much, and I wanted the video to be special, and I wanted to make sure that I did it with somebody. I worked on it with somebody who got it, you know, who really understood the gravity of it and what it meant to me. You know, as artists, we do that. We have to connect with what we create. So I reached out to Frankie and was just like, hey, any chance you would like to choreograph? Because at first I was like, I know I want to dance. I would love to choreograph. And she was like, what did you say, Frankie? I need to direct it too.
I don't remember, but I usually don't choreograph anymore unless I'm directing. That's where I'm at with my career. It's like it usually goes hand in hand.
But I get it too. And maybe you can speak a little more about that process, but I totally understand it because, you know, when you're setting up a certain dance sequence movements, you're seeing it and you want the audience to see it the same way you do.
You want me to talk about which process?
Yeah. Could you talk a little bit about like what it takes to choreograph, but also to think of it as a director?
Well, yeah. So first and foremost, it was great working with you. It was absolutely a joy. And I have seen you grow over the years and you've seen me grow over the years. So it's been really special to be able to do this with you on this song. And I remember hearing you know, you would bring new tunes in before you recorded them or made, you know, videos. So it was, you know, to be able to be part of this process after you have written and rehearsed and recorded and then take it to the next level of music video. It's just incredibly fun and satisfying. So, you know, I just want to say that, you know, for those of you out there that may be finding Alfa for the first time, because I've been posting some of my buddies there, you know, you are extremely talented. You have like multi-instrumentalist. And I remember, well, we'll get to that, but you would bring in like your ukulele and the guitar, and then you sit at the piano, and I'm like, I lost count at how many instruments you actually
It's like a
play.
rotation.
I was like, okay, I don't know, whatever. You play the accordion, I got one in the closet,
My grandfather does. I don't.
And so it's just having that multi-talent, all those skills that you have and the talent you have, and it's just a joy to be able to tap into that. And my desire was to do something that we haven't seen you do yet. There was that sweet girl Alfa that I know on the beach and all that good stuff. But I know a lot about Alfa. I know her personality because, as she said earlier, we are very similar in many ways. They say water seeks its own level. I don't think there's any coincidence about that. So, thank you for your willingness to be open to experimenting with me. It meant a lot, and a great honor that you entrusted me with this, because I know, Alf and I, we can go like, I push, she pushes back, we breathe,
Yes.
we work, and then the magic unfolds.
No,
and
but you totally get me.
I do. And so as far as your question, because I know I'm taking the long route here, but you showed up, and when you showed up for yourself, and first and foremost, that made the process so much more enjoyable and rewarding, and it made my job much easier. My first goal was focusing, in the capacity as a choreographer. I put my director's cap on, but only to be aware of how your strengths could, later be magnified by certain angles and moves. But first and foremost, I needed to, because you never worked with me as a dancer, and you had told me you have never danced before.
Not unless you count going to the club and like.
Yes. And for those who just saw the video, it wasn't just club. So, my first goal was to work with you, and we worked over a period of a couple months. I know we had the holidays and a couple COVID breaks,
right? Yeah.
But we worked over a couple, and for me it was let me find what your body is comfortable doing.
I remember that, yeah.
And then what you're not comfortable doing.
Yeah, because you were just like, just get on the floor and like roll around for a minute. You're like, okay, but it was so great because you were putting me in these positions where like I would generally be like, nope, I don't want to do that, and then I was like, wait, but it's Frankie, so okay, I can do this. Yeah, like I love that you chose this still too, because that one is so amazing. The way you I don't know what you did, but you made me like really pop in that photo.
Yeah, I said, do it again, do it again. Funny. Do it again. Oh my gosh. You're like, enough already.
Yeah. So I feel like, it's my first year teaching, as you know, and as a lot of you guys may know, I started teaching this year. This was my workout, Frankie. Like being able to dance with you was my, okay, I didn't get to, do my weekly workout, but I'm going to go and dance, because she definitely put me through the ringer as far as, movement and all that. And I love that part. I want to tell everyone a little bit more about you, because I realize I skipped over this, but for those of you who are just joining us, this is Frankie Ann. She's the director choreographer. She is also a producer with a foundation and extensive credits as a singer, dancer, and actress, and in New York, no less. So the East Coast, those are your roots, right? With your
no, I'm sorry, it's Jersey.
Oh, you're right. You're hello. How can
I'm proud of my Jersey roots, girl.
Jersey roots, which I also grew up in Jersey. So, yes, 100%. She is the director producer for the documentary Robert Altman Through the Lens, a current work in progress. So, just to let you guys know a little bit about Frankie Ann. So I'm so lucky that she agreed to work with me, and she was so her heart was wide open, and kind of challenging me. But also knowing very well, kind of where my artistry is coming from, and just wanting that to bloom. So I felt so much goodwill coming from you, Frankie. So thank you.
And you too. It was my goal to tailor what was best suited for your body. And in order to do so, you were willing to expose yourself, to be willing to try things. Let me watch my words.
Expose yourself. Oh my goodness.
I'm talking your vulnerability. It's not just your vulnerability as a vocalist, but your vulnerability as an artist. which allows, it's an inside out job when
Yeah.
when you move, when you sing, it's not an outside in.
is.
So
I love that you said that just now, because it made me think, and I don't know if Carl is still here. Carl Thompson is the producer who worked in the studio with me to record this song. And it's interesting that you brought up that it's an inside out process, because so much of actually recording the song, recording the vocal, was like trusting that my voice was enough without having to push it. I think sometimes I have this tendency to want to I want to sing and belt and be as loud as I can, because it almost makes up for my anxiety. And having to record this song, I had to counter that instinct. I had to be sing quietly. And even Carl would be like, too much, calm it down. Just almost breathe the words and breathe it, and trust that your sentiment and your feeling is going to be there. And I'm just proud of the song and the video, because I worked with such great people. So let's take a look at the chat over here. If you guys have any questions for Frankie or for me, please feel free to drop them in the chat. We are chit-chatting. I'm here with Frankie Ann, the director and choreographer of Every Word You Say. And Frankie, I'm so curious, when you first heard Every Word You Say, do you remember what you thought of?
Well, I'm a fan, Alpha. I've known you, like I said, a long time, and I heard the song, and I heard how far you've come as a vocalist, and I thought, wow, this is a beautiful song. There's a lot of vulnerability in this song. There's a lot of heart from a different place. I know you and I talked about, I love the song, obviously. You and I talked about, what do you want to bring up that show? The impetus to you writing the song?
Oh yeah, we can bring it up. Absolutely.
Because that's what I felt before you told me, it was that unrequited love. But what I got from it, and and it's all that subjective objective thing, is that I heard the personal journey, where later you talked about this relationship, with somebody else. But and that's great, because we're all affected differently.
You were picking up on different spiritual notes, but it was kind of similar.
Yeah. And it was, it inspired when we talked about it, when you explained to me, and we're talking in code right now. So why don't you go ahead and explain?
Yes, I will explain. Everyone's probably like, what are you talking about? Yeah. So I don't know, you guys, if there are any Fleabag fans in the house. Fleabag is a show that's on Amazon. It's with Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who is just an absolute genius. But I don't want to give away too many spoilers, because if you haven't seen it, you really should see it, and you should get the full experience. But let me say in broad terms, that the show is about there is a love story within the show. It's about a lot of things, but there's a love story within the show between someone and someone else. They both love each other, but for certain extenuating circumstances, they can't actually go forward with their feelings for each other. And I know that sounds, coming out of my mouth, I'm like, there's so many shows that kind of have that premise, but I just feel like this show really got to me. It was so powerfully done and well written, and if you see it, you'll know what I mean. So yeah, for the Fleabag, if you haven't seen it, please watch it. That's basically what inspired me to write this song, because I watched the finale, I was in tears. I went to my friend Austin Jose's house. Shout out to Austin, because he's here. I went to Austin Jose's house to water his flowers, and I think I cried a bunch. And then I wrote the song in one go. So it really stayed with me. And that's kind of just a testament to the power of art. So it was so cool, Frankie, how you obviously you couldn't have predicted, or you couldn't have read this between the lines, Fleabag. But you definitely felt the same sentiment of that unrequited love and sort of that yearning, and that was definitely there.
But for me, I felt it more as a personal journey.
Introspective
of you looking for that, not necessarily
very cool
outside. So when we were talking about the visual aspects, and and bringing in Popeye Media, your production team, and meeting with them, and putting together a lookbook, so to speak, as the visual, we tossed around. My first thing was okay, there's a journey here, and we were going to go different locations, and then you brought up, well, can we do it? I don't know if you said black box. I don't remember if you used that term, but in the studio.
No.
And I thought, oh, in the studio, one location. Wow, could you challenge me more?
I remember you were very gung-ho about the outdoor scenes. You're like, we got to do this outdoors, blah, blah. And then I was like, all right, I don't know if it should be outdoors or just like in one location. I just like flippantly said that comment. And then I could see your eyes like light up like, or, like that would be really hard. So I want to do that.
Well, that's the thing. If I'm going to do something that's really a departure, for whatever reason, I like to challenge myself. And kudos to you, because you are not a lazy woman. You are a hardworking lady, and you were like, okay. And then we started throwing the ideas back and forth, and I said, all candlelight. I said, if we're going to go in, we're going to have.
I was like,
because I know in my head as a director what I need to do to make it interesting, because we're not changing locations. But so I developed the locations within the one location.
Yeah.
Remember how I said we're going to do this angle?
I was drawn to that. I was very drawn to the idea of one location, because
and then
previous videos I've done were multiple locations. And actually, shout out to Romel, who's in the house, because he directed one of my videos for the Bean Song, where it was kind of like a love letter to LA. We were just various locations in Los Angeles, which were great. But yeah, I think when that idea came along of the one place, I was like, well, this would be definitely a departure, as you say. And that was compelling.
And then I threw in the candles.
Yes.
And you were like, candles? Yeah, no light, just candles. All right, one light.
Yeah, you're like, fine, we'll get the cool like lightning light that Jeff had.
The saber.
But actually, I want to transition. That's a great transition to Romel's question. He said, how many candles were used for the video?
1,005.
Yeah, we'll say that.
There were quite
a lot.
Yeah, there was a lot.
I think the setup took quite a long time that night, but it was worth it.
We transformed, the studio was gray. That entire studio was gray, and we transformed it
to
covered
black.
It black. The floor, everything that the candles were on, and all of that stuff. And we had a nice little team there that was working hard to get that together.
They were amazing. I mean, I don't know. I'm not sure if Jeff or Javelin or Kelsey are here. Shout out to you guys in the Popeye team if you are here. Excuse me, Popeye Media team if you are here, because we started at 7 p.m. because the studio is used during the day. So we basically were like, we got to get in there at, when they're done at 7. And we stayed till, I don't even know, 3 a.m. or whatever. We would have stayed later. I could have done it. I could have stayed later. But we had some deadlines that night. But it was amazing. And that team just, they were so diligent about turning all the floors from gray to black, changing all the ballet bars, and then creating the surfaces for the candles, putting all the batteries.
They don't know what we're talking about. So if you see the picture behind me, I'll go this way. We use these ballet bars to create. I wanted to have like space. I wanted to be able to see space and candles everywhere and different heights. And so the ballet bars are right there. And I'm like, let's use the ballet bars. And we created shelving and covered them in black in a way in which they would, be best concealed, hopefully, And so from that standpoint, we were able to then move, around those bars on one side, on the floor, under them, and kind of create different feels up of. It was a nice challenge.
Yeah,
I think I started out with there was 50 shots on my sheet. We never got to them all, but it was they were pretty clear. I was
true
really
artist. Yeah, no, you saw a lot, and you wanted to get as much done as you could. But timing. I think that's what things always run up against, right? It's like these limitations in timing or budget, or it's sort of just the name of the game, unfortunately.
And a friend of mine, actually the colorist who did the color, he said
Tony Bell,
South Carolina. Shout out, Tony, if you're there. Thank you. He made a comment. It was like, making a good film or a video is using all that you have the best you can and making it the best it can be with what you got.
Absolutely.
And I'm really proud of what you did, and I know you produced this. You were at the helm and bringing in the team, and you did a great job. And I'm really grateful I could be on that journey. I'm truly honored, and I'm excited for you.
And the feeling is so mutual. The admiration is totally there, Frankie. Thank you for everything. I want to check out some questions from the chat. We have Austin, question. I'm the biggest Kate Bush fan. Love Kate Bush. And this video gave me a bit of that. Oh yeah, the mood play with lighting, darkness, smoke, etc. with meaningful dance and movement. Was there any inspiration from Kate Bush for this video? And if not, were there any tonal or visual inspirations for this music video? Frankie, you want to take that one?
Yeah,
That's a
well,
great
absolutely,
question.
absolutely not on the Kate Bush. I didn't even think about that. What was the inspiration was Alpha's challenge, was put it in one room. And so for me, it was, I go to lighting, I go to angles, I go, what can make this interesting and not make it seem like it's in one location? What will give it some depth and character? So my brain literally just went to candlelight. So then I actually Googled films with candlelight, and it took me back, way back to the 70s. I think it was Barry Lyndon that popped up, and I said, oh my God. And then I watched the whole documentary on that in the process.
I think I remember you sending me some clips.
Yeah, I mean, talk about, having hundreds and hundreds of backup of candles at the time that were burning down because, continuity. They didn't have what we had.
Yeah. Well, there's a little giveaway, you guys. Those candles were not real fire. We are in SoCal after all. I feel like that might have been pretty risky. We did have batteries.
We could not use fire.
No, we could not. But so nothing, but we didn't have to worry about things, melting down, which was very nice.
But it was, we didn't have the continuity issue to deal with, like every 5 minutes changing out a candle that was getting shorter and then taking another angle. Yeah. But I have to go back and watch that now. Thanks for bringing that up. That Kate Bush.
Yeah, the Kate Bush, right? Now I want to watch some Kate Bush after this. Romel asks, how many days of pre and post? Oh, I think you mean pre and post production, right, Romel? Is my guess. So how many days of pre and post? Oh, goodness. I think it wound up being a lot more of a delay, mostly because of my schedule. And also, like Frankie mentioned, with the holidays, we had gotten started with the choreography in the fall, I think the end of fall. But then, the holidays hit, and also it was my first year of teaching, which no joke, I underestimated how insane it would be. So, I couldn't quite get as many consecutive days, but I don't know if we added up all the days we worked on it, how much it would come up to.
Yeah, we did several weeks. I consider this as part of the pre-production was your training. It's like if you ever do a musical or hear about movie musicals that are made, the actors go in there and they actually take, private sessions with the choreographer and sessions and training to get ready to do those moves. And that's what I did with Alpha first. So I would say that was a good 3 weeks of work. Physically just working on on that aspect. And then we had a few meetings with regards, I think we only had a couple meetings actually with Popeye Media with regards to visual and then you and I, we took that break and then I got COVID and you were working.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And then the holidays and then we got back together and we, all told, it was a lot less than you would think, but it was a lot of condensed work and hard work in a short amount of time.
I think in a perfect world, in a perfect non-COVID, everybody's got plenty of time on their hands world, we probably could have knocked out a lot of that in the pre-production and rehearsal, everything in a month, right?
Well, we could have knocked it out, sure, but we had
with the dance. I'm thinking about my own dancing skills and all,
But I was really surprised because we videotaped the rehearsals and then we had that long break because of COVID and the holidays. It was about a 6-week break.
Yeah.
And I remember saying, send me a video where you're at. Cause this way when we get back together, I know, I know where I can start with you and what I need to be prepared for, and you always did your homework, there is absolutely no surprise that you are hard working something to something. I mean, girl, you did your work, you sent me this video and I was like, holy cow. And we were able to do it. And just a couple weeks after that, we got back together.
That's right. I did my homework, but I kept on putting off taking the video for you. I kept on being like, yeah, I'll send it to you. I just was like, oh, I don't know. I don't want to film.
Oh, and then I would ask you to. We would take certain angles during the rehearsals too.
Right.
So I was prepping my brain to see, kind of some ideas of whether I want to go overhead, whether we want to, what kind of shots we want to take.
Yeah.
There was a lot of that going on during the rehearsals as well, as far as pre-production. There was a lot of experimenting.
Right.
Because again, it came all back to using one location and how best can I make this as interesting as possible.
Yeah.
And then it took, then Alfa and I sat together on the edit. And that was a whole nother journey
That
too.
was a whole other journey. That was a wonderful journey. But the shooting, Romel, I think, was asking also how long our shoot took. So Romel, it was like 8 hours, I think.
The actual, no,
less.
No, we had to stop earlier, remember?
Oh, that's right. And the setup did take a while. So yeah, it was just a few
2 hours.
hours. Yeah. But
Setup took 2 hours.
I think for this video, the post and the pre and the post took the bulk of the time. The shooting was not. But it was a lot of preparation. I mean, like the dance moves were, if you're prepared, it obviously won't take as long. So that's what I was aiming to do, just knowing that we would have a time limit, But as far as editing goes, we had just a little more flexibility where, you live down the street from me or not that far.
Before you get into the editing, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I wanted to embellish on that. You brought up a really good point, which was being prepared. And I remember saying to you, Alfa, I don't want to shoot this until you feel ready to perform this live on stage in front of an audience. That kind of preparation, because we're not going to have the luxury of stop, start as much as we want because the move went off. So when we shot this, she was like on top. I mean, might have taken, 3 or 4 takes at most at any one time on one shot. And you were ready. You were ready. And
at that point it's about getting the shot. So it's like I was like, I don't want to be the problem here or the difficult part of this. I want to make my part the easier part, because I know that from my own experience with producing videos, I know that there's a lot of things to think about when you're actually shooting. So you don't have to worry about your musician not knowing how to dance on top of that.
Yeah, no, we were organized. We were all well organized. The shots were we were organized with the shots. You were organized with the work you had done. Everything was going, and I think we shot it in just about 4 hours once we started.
Oh, was it really that? Gosh, that night was a blur.
But we had to stop early, or we would have gone longer. But we did have to stop early. Yeah, but then go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah, I took a peek at the chat and I saw Mark Wilson. Thank you so much. He says absolutely fantastic and congratulations.
Hi, Mark. Oh my God, Mark and he was my first writing partner.
My gosh.
Woo, hi, Mark.
Hi, Mark. And Melina Berger, I'm not sure how to say
my
it.
buddy.
She says she's so proud of you. And she wants to know if we'll be working together again. Indubitably.
I sure hope so.
Yes, I sure hope so. I think so. I know so. And
I want to take you to Charleston. We want to shoot in Charleston.
I've never been. I am totally down. But anyway, Frankie, thank you so much for taking the time. And thank you guys for hanging out. I think coming up on about a half hour or so since the premiere. Please post the video to your channels, post it Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all of that. We're both so proud and so excited that this video is finally out in the world. So we would love if you guys could, share it with everybody. And Frankie, was there anything you wanted to close with? Any last thoughts or ideas?
Well, yeah, I just want to add that, there was a lot of magic that happened, a lot of magic, and it happened because of the willingness to be flexible and the willingness to flow. And that is a gift. And, there was a time early on in my career where it's like forcing the solution. Let me get this. I want to get this. And, because we had our limitations, because we were both willing to kind of breathe through it. We had our moments, and we're human, But overall, we're able to get through all of that. And when the roadblock came up, it was like make a right or make a left. Don't try to plow through the brick wall or over the hump or into the hole, And because of that attitude, I really believe a lot of the magic was occurring to allow this to become what it is today. So I'm really grateful to have been on it.
That's a wonderful note to end on. I always think that there's such beautiful things that come out of limitations. You know, this is going to be so cheesy. I saw this in a movie once, but I think the movie was The Legend of 1900. I don't know if you guys know that movie, but there's something in that movie that stuck with me, which was, you know, he was a very talented pianist, was the main character, and he talked about how on the piano you have 88 keys, and that limitation, there's a world of beauty and magic that can be created by having just those 88 keys, no more, no less. And I really do, I agree with you. You know, it wasn't the easiest to make, we created some challenges for ourselves, and it wasn't the easiest thing, but we found solutions every step of the way. And I think as creative people, that's what we like really get excited by, you know, like being able to make things happen even in spite of some obstacles. So high five. Go, Frankie.
The virtual world.
Virtual five.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a big hug when I see you in person next time.
You got it.
Austin, you had another question? Shoot the question, Austin. And Ramel wants to know if there were any happy accidents on set.
Yes, there were happy accidents on set. The fact that she did that split in the chair, like right on. No. Let me see. Happy
accident.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I think some of the happy accidents happened in the editing.
Oh no, that's absolutely true. The editing process. We had a lot of moments where we'd like, what about this shot? Should we put this? And we both go, oh, like that was wonderful.
Yeah. I don't remember anything specifically popping out of the shoot because we were just really pressed for time.
Yeah.
And
we were very focused on like, this is what needs to get done right now.
No, it all kind of, it was all, we got through it, and there were a couple things that we had hoped to get, and we didn't. Oh, that's where the happy accident is. So we wanted to get a certain shot, and then we didn't end up with the shot. But then again, in the edit is where it came to life that we were able to get.
Are you talking about the pull shot?
The Zolly shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's all great. Oh no, I gotta tell this story. I'm so sorry.
Okay,
Is my mic too loud? You just jump back.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay.
So during the rehearsal process, I don't think I've ever told you this. During the rehearsal process, when I'm working like with an artist, and specifically with Alfa, we've never worked together as a choreographer and an artist who dances. I go far out. My thing is, let's shoot for the moon and we'll adjust from there. And so we were working and things were changing, and we get to the solo part. And I had this whole concept of what I wanted her to do dance-wise.
To the violin.
No.
Oh.
No, the violin wasn't even a part of this. We were working on the dance section. If you remember the bars coming down the middle, we were going to do something. You're walking, and there was this whole thing with you movement.
Yep.
And it wasn't working for me. And I'm in the studio. You don't know what's going on in my head, and it doesn't matter. You don't want to be in my brain because that neighborhood can be dangerous. But so I finally said, shift, Frankie, shift. And I'm listening to the music, and I said, Alfa, who's playing the violin? And you said, I am. I'm like, forget this. Get that violin in here.
Violin.
And you're like, but it's going to be a dance video. I said, you're dancing. Like there's 2+ minutes of you dancing. You are a musician of music. I mean, like, I didn't know you played the violin until that day in rehearsal when I thought,
I don't talk about it that much, I guess.
Who's playing the violin? Yeah. I know there's the ukulele, piano, the guitar. What else? Do you play bass too?
No, that's piano, ukulele, guitar, violin.
Okay. Just 4 inches. Just 4. But when that, my dear, was the happy accident, because that is what shifted.
I forgot because it got so normal to me that, like, yeah, of course the violin's going to be in it. I forgot that it was ever something else, you know?
Yeah, that was a happy accident. And I'm really, really glad, because it put a whole nother dimension to this and to you as an artist, to show that, you know, you, the singer, songwriter, musician, dancer. I mean, you know, you got it, girl.
You're helping me add some more notches to my belt. Okay, Austin gave us his last question, so this will be our last question of the night. I know it's getting a little late, but thank you guys for hanging out with us, all of you. Austin says, This music video seems to be arguably one of your most vulnerable ones. Being solo, less about the plot, using a lot more body movement, etc. Did your long-term friendship with Frankie, as well as her being a female director, help with comfortability? I already answered it in the chat. I was like, yes, in all caps. And Austin, I'm not surprised that you picked up on the vulnerability thing. I had a conversation with my mother the other day, and it's funny because my mother's another one who knows me very well, and she was also like, I think she wanted to check in and be like, are you okay with being this vulnerable in a video? She was just like, I think I could tell that she wasn't sure what I wanted her to say as far as the vulnerabilities, like doing something that was different and being so front and center and exposed essentially. So it is definitely different. Austin, I love that you picked up on that. I do think that knowing Frankie really well helped, especially not even in the shooting, because as we mentioned, that was only a few hours, but it was in the process of just coming together with the choreography, because we spent a lot of time being in the dance studio, and then Frankie just being like, just move your body. Me being like, I don't know where to begin, but her sort of coaxing that out of me. And I don't think that would have been as easy if it wasn't someone that I knew or was comfortable with. And I do think being a female director helps as well. I mean, not to say I'm perfectly happy working with men as well, but when it comes to like moving your body, at least for me, it's definitely a vulnerable place. So I think working with a fellow female, especially someone that I know has had a lot of similar experiences to me as an artist, I think that really helped. And it was just such a bonus, and it made life much easier for me.
We also went through that with you as a vocalist.
Yes, we did.
And I think that really helped with you trusting me. And I always say, and I say that with great admiration. Thank you for entrusting me, because that's what allows the end result to be so special, is that when you can be that vulnerable and you're willing to be that vulnerable, and male or female, I think if you're a willing person, I think the relationship in general did help. It definitely helped, but you are a willing participant, and with the right team, the relationship opens, like any relationship.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, I think we are at the end of our night, but Frankie, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I say we should go get some wine sometime and just chill.
I don't drink.
Not be choreo. Oh yeah, that's right. We need to get some.
We can go out. We can do whatever. I'll drink a water. You drink.
I'm gonna have a wine for you. But yeah, I want to like sit and relax and enjoy the moment with you. And everyone who stopped by to check out the video, thank you so much. Please share the video on all your socials and all that. And Frankie, where can people reach you if they want to reach out?
Yeah, on Instagram, it's Frankie, Frankie _ Ann with an E, ANNE _ productions. Frankie _ Ann _ productions on Instagram, and Frankie Ann on Facebook. And I'm one of your friends, so they can find me through you if they don't see me otherwise. But yeah, love to see you there.
Just putting it in the chat, you guys, please make sure that you follow Frankie. And most likely you guys are already following me, but in case you want my handles, here's my Instagram, Alfa _ music, putting that in the chat. And you should be subscribed to my YouTube already. If you're not, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Thank you guys so much. This was such a special night, and congratulations, Frankie.
And congratulations, Alfa.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Take care.
Good night.
Good night.